Hello, Fidelbogen here. A few days ago, my colleague Nick Redding of the Men's Rights Edmonton Project issued a video invitation to the feminist Mike Rugnetta to be a guest on the Vanguard Report, a weekly non-feminist Google Hangout which Nick and I host every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. A link to Nick's video is provided in the low bar of this video. If you haven't watched Nick's video yet, please do, since he covers ground I won't be covering here, and furthermore, his statement was officially the first one to be made. Now, I would like to make clear why we are inviting Mr. Rugnetta to be on the program. You might think it's because we wish to hold a so-called debate of some kind, but I can assure you that is not the case. Nothing could interest us less than arguing or debating with Mike Rugnetta or any other feminist, and for this occasion we will take a strictly post-argumentalist approach. Right now, I am issuing a general call, as you might call it, to people in the feminist sector. We don't know if Mike Rugnetta will accept our invitation or not. So far, we haven't heard from him. And for some reason, we think the odds are that we never will. But regardless, we'll keep on advertising. Eventually, somebody will answer that call. Rather than argue, we wish to broach the topic of coexistence between feminist people and non-feminist people. That is our theme. We are here to have some exploratory conversation in order to make ourselves clear to each other. That's all. We shall convene under the white flag of truce. So you may think of this as a diplomatic conference with the world as witness. Now, let's move along to matters of a more serious and problematic character in order to set the stage and get ourselves on the same page. It appears to many of us in the non-feminist sector that feminism is a colonizing force in the world. Our non-feminist perception is that feminism aims to convert the entirety of the human race to the feminist way of thinking. It also appears to many of us that feminism is a juggernaut, a runaway locomotive, a machine with no off switch, and that nothing short of intervention or plain old sabotage will ever stop it. Yes, that is our perception. So, is perception reality in this case? We need to look into that. Now, it just so happens that many of us in the non-feminist sector do not wish to be converted to the feminist way of thinking. We have our own lives to live, our non-feminist thoughts to think, and we do not feel that feminism can add anything to our spiritual journey or show us anything that we couldn't just as well sort out by our own devices. At best, I repeat, at best, we feel that feminism is superfluous. And at worst, well, I don't think now is the right time to enlarge on what we find worst about feminism, so I will pass over that. The critical thing to get in your head is that the fundamental right of non-feminist people to exist, just to exist, is not in question. It is not negotiable. We do exist. We will continue to exist. And there is nothing to be done about that. If you are a feminist, you might as well reconcile yourself to that reality. Non-feminist men and women are here for the duration, until the sun runs out of hydrogen, or, more likely, until a comet or asteroid collision rings down the final curtain for primates like us. In the meantime, feminists and non-feminists are neighbors on planet Earth. We are stuck with each other, so we might as well make the best of it. We might as well be neighborly, yes? Feminists, what do you say to that? No, we don't need to like each other, but we'll need to put up with each other somehow and not step on each other's toes unnecessarily. Right? The proposed online panel discussion can go on for as long as 2 hours, but let's not kid ourselves. We can't hope to say it all in that time. We can scratch the surface at best. We won't be finding many answers in a mere 2 hours, but I think we can make a pretty good start at posing these significant questions and setting in motion a whole new discourse, a whole new cultural narrative built around those questions. The very first question would be, is coexistence between the feminist sector and the non-feminist sector even possible at all? Well, let me be honest. It is a considered opinion of both Nick Redding and myself that the prospect for such coexistence is dim. I'm not here to sell you any sunshine, okay? However, Nick and I agree that we shouldn't give up in despair without giving it a go. And that is why we, as citizens of the non-feminist world, are willing to have this talk. That is why we are willing to make this gesture. We want to be able to say that we tried. Remember, we are not here to convert or convince each other. We are not here to prove who is right or who is wrong. We are here only to clarify ourselves to each other and to explore, or at least begin to explore, the profoundly interesting question whether it is possible for feminist people and non-feminist people to live side by side on the same planet, with each side minding its own business and keeping out of the other side's business. Mike Rugnetta, you can respond whenever you are ready. And for that matter, any other feminist in the sound of my voice can answer the call just as well. You can email me, Fidelbogen, at vanguardreport@usa.com. That's Vanguard Report, one word, Vanguard Report at USA.com. Or you can seek out Nick Redding's contact information on mensrightsedmonton.com. Either of these will work, and you will find the items posted in the low bar. Here's hoping to hear from the feminist sector. Fidelbogen, out, 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 out.